Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm really excited to do this video. This is something I've been wanting to do for a really long time because really, for me, YouTube has just meant so much in my life. Pretty much everything that I've done up to this point, whether it's my bachelor or master in mathematics, all the way to starting the different businesses that I've started, to literally everything that I do today, I pretty much owe it to YouTube. I've never really been too good in a classroom where, again, I've got to listen to someone live and then I just kind of forget the information. So YouTube has always been like a crazy, amazing medium for me to just learn, but also pause, rewind, re-listen, all of this stuff. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to storytelling. Whether you're talking about sales, marketing, pretty much everything you do, when you're trying to convince someone, when you're trying to, motivate someone, all of it comes down to storytelling. So I've selected a number of channels that I think are just absolutely mind-blowing from a storytelling perspective that a lot of you should just kind of go and watch to just, again, learn how people are actually telling a story, how they actually, summarizing topics, all of that. So category number one will be storytelling. So let's get right into it. The way we'll do this is I'll just show you the channel so you can kind of see. And I've selected one video that I believe you should watch just as an intro to that channel. So I'm really excited. The first channel is someone called Neistat, which of course 100% of you would know his brother Casey Neistat. And so Van has now launched a YouTube channel, which for me, it's probably one of the best YouTube channel from a storytelling standpoint out there. So of course, it's a little bit more indie. All of the elements that you probably loved about Casey, you can now find that in his videos. But again, deeper, more meaningful videos. Again, he does lots of stuff with his son, like building things with his hands. Like how Casey always kind of had this crazy office where he built all those little contraptions. Again, there's very much of that in there. And for me, watching his video, the lessons there, it's really just how to communicate a topic creatively. Like just the concept of taking a very mundane kind of topic and making it entertaining, fun, and all that. And for me, so he's got such a good mix between motivation, educational, and kind of like fun and entertainment aspect of things. So honestly, in this first video, I'm actually going to talk about it a little bit more. It's called We Are in a Fourth Turning.
We're in the process of changing our world again. The authors of The Fourth Turning tell us that these crises are like forest fires. Unpleasant, but necessary. They clear the woods for new growth. As we work towards our next high, this crisis will tilt the playing field away from the old and towards the young.
Neistat is the first channel I highly recommend. He posts video very often. He also has a Patreon. You can just go and again, you get more videos and stuff. So anyway, Neistat, amazing. So after that, this is a channel that I discovered a bit more recently. He's a bit bigger, but again, the reason why I discovered him is I'm actually in the midst of a marathon prep that I should be doing later this year. And so of course, just been consuming content around that topic. And one of his video came up and it's awesome. His name is Nathaniel Drew. And honestly, again, just so inspiring from a storytelling standpoint. So he's an American guy who now lives in Paris. And again, it's really fun for him to see his view of the world as an American now living in Europe and kind of how that whole dynamic has shifted. And so 100% highly recommend.
The story that I'm going to tell here is about one of the most intense and beautiful experiences of my life.
Sometimes it's nice to also be exposed to this because of course it's so interesting, it's so cool to be motivated and seeing those crazy videos with cars everywhere and amazing outfits and all of that. But also sometimes it's just cool to go and see other different topics. So that channel, highly recommend. And this particular video, no joke, I watched it and I was pretty much close to having tears in my eyes. So again, if you look through the comments in the video, a lot of it actually people say that they've cried and stuff. So essentially the video is called I Went Too Far This Time. And it's just so good. It's about him and his prep for a marathon that he did, I believe this year. Yeah, he ran the Paris Marathon. Super cool. So anyway, highly recommend for you guys to watch that. After this, okay, again, a fairly large YouTuber, but again, his ability to kind of like break down kind of news type of topic, like journalistic type of topics, where again, he would take a specific topic and go really deep into it. So for example, he's done lots of stuff around the war in Russia and the different, you know, groups that are fighting. And again, not just in Russia, but anywhere in Middle East and a bunch of places. He used to be a Mormon. He did a whole video about how he left the Mormon church, and it was super, super interesting to watch. And again, just his ability to put things together. For me, it's super inspiring, right? I'm making those videos now, and the level of research that's required in order to make videos like those guys are doing is just absolutely mind-blowing. So again, the video I think you guys should watch is, how the US ruined bread.
I love bread.
There is so much good bread in France.
This is how a lot of us Americans get our bread.
Crazy. I mean, that video literally has 4.5 million views about bread. So it just shows. And for me, the main lessons here again is just, you know, when you're trying to build a business and you're trying, you know, run ads and you're trying to explain to people why they should use your tool or why they should use your services, this all comes down to storytelling. Okay, so now it's an even more fun channel. This is just something that I've been really passionate for a really long time. It's of course related to food, you know, like if something that a little piece of advice to all of you guys, of course, you know, cooking, going to groceries, all of stuff. A lot of people say it's a waste of time, but as a man or a woman, it doesn't matter who you are. Truly, if you consider yourself like a gentleman or something like that, having basic, you know, cooking skills, having a few recipes under your belt is an absolute necessary. Like it's just like it's a prerequisite to life. There's so much pride in cooking good food, and I'm not saying cook all the time because I clearly understand, especially with what we're doing, you know, like ordering food and stuff, sometimes is a most time efficient strategy, but still don't disregard that. And you don't want to be the loser that has no clue how to turn on. Like there's nothing less cool in the world than say, I don't even know how to turn on the stove. Even if you've got all the money in the world, I feel like the basic principle of being a fully complete person is the ability to take care of yourself, like end to end, and your family. So anyway, cooking, I feel like it's a super simple thing to do, especially now on YouTube. There's a million freaking channels that cook, and even on TikTok, you know, like literally just go on TikTok. You don't even need to go on YouTube to watch recipes. There's so many quick things. But this channel, his name is Alex. He's a French guy from Paris, and his channel is probably one of the coolest channels as well. Like he does crazy in-depth series on how to make pasta, and by how to make pasta, literally going all the way down to how the actual pasta is made. You know, what grains they use, what kind of flour is necessary, what kind of machine, all of it, and then goes and explains how to make certain recipes. The video that I think you guys should watch is called Italian Master Chef Changed My World with Simple Pasta, Aglio and Olio, by Luciano Monozilio. And again, I went to that guy Luciano's restaurant in Rome after having watched some of Alex's video last year, and it absolutely blew my mind how good spaghetti carbonara could be.
Hey guys, salut, this is Alex. Welcome back to the pasta series. I'm already in Rome. Things escalated pretty quickly. The previous episode literally opened my eyes to how precious dried pasta really are. For whatever reason, I always thought fresh pasta were the best, but the truth is they are lacking the very first reason why I love pasta. Al dente.
Another channel that I think kind of fits in storytelling and kind of motivation is a guy called Mike Boyd.
So I'm going to try more rather than less.
Essentially, he just filmed himself learning things. So just, and learning fully random things, like not crazy useful things, just to kind of film the process of learning. So, you know, like juggling, riding a unicycle, oiling with like a skateboard, or, you know, like deck stacking, what just a bunch of random skills like this. And again, for me, the lesson in here, and that's why I love his channel, is just just keep going. And just the difference between when you first started to where you are now, it's hard for us to kind of self-analyze and be self-aware of how much you've grown as a person, or how much you know about a topic 6 months down the line, a year down the line, compared to when you first started. Because of course, you know, like the problem is, like, for all of us, what happens when you enter a topic, you know nothing. So again, you're fully overwhelmed, you know nothing. Then you start learning a little bit. And so now you're like, oh, cool, I learned so much, it's amazing, and I know so much and stuff. And the more you know, it doesn't get you like, oh, hell yeah, now I'm really confident. It's the more you know, is the more you also know what you don't know. So then you're like, well, you know, there's just so much I still need to learn to be like full professional, whatever it may be. And so this is what we often face, all of us, you know, like you've been working on you know, becoming like, I don't know, like an SEO expert, or, you know, running ads, or AI, or SaaS, whatever it may be. And it's just easy for us to forget how far you've come. And this channel is awesome at reminding you that, because it literally shows him, you know, juggling a few things, absolutely sucks at it. And then you can see sometimes he learns things in like 2 hours. Sometimes it takes him freaking a month and a half. For example, he was trying to learn how to do muscle ups. That took him forever. But again, the concept for me here is really the evolution of learning. And so for me, watch a few here and there. It's awesome. All right, cool. So now let's go through some of the business kind of related channels that I think are really interesting. And so for me, probably one of the craziest channel, again, not so much from sharing tactical advice and sharing like crazy motivational stuff, because of course there's so many out there, you know, like people that offer like more to the point kind of like videos and tutorials. But I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with the brand called Gymshark. The owner and founder of Gymshark, Ben Francis, has started a YouTube channel maybe 2 years ago or something like that. And again, the editing and everything is like mind-blowing, but the level of transparency on his journey, literally building $1 billion brand, is amazing. Like, it's crazy. He literally did a video when they essentially raised capital to get to that $1 billion valuation, and he literally explains the whole thing. Like, literally you can see exactly how the deal went, and he probably has one of the craziest deals I've ever seen in my life ever. They've raised money and somehow he managed to increase his equity in the business. So absolute genius.
It's like a weird feeling, because ultimately what we've just done is signed off as having Gymshark as a $1 billion+ brand, which is like out of this world, because it was only 8 years ago, pretty much to the day, that I was like hand sewing and hand making and hand printing products. And
the other lessons in a video like this is just transparency really matters, just not being a dick or just too cool for school, and just show that you can be that and still absolutely crush it, like, and crazy demolish it and stuff. You don't have to be just like a big macho person to do really well. So that's interesting to kind of remind ourselves that just being nice and being a genuine person really matters. So anyway, that's Ben Francis for you guys. So in the same kind of vein, this guy called Nick Theriot. So again, he's like probably more like a growth partner type of guy. He's got like an agency that kind of helps, you know, e-com store run ads. And again, this is where I was talking about, like, not a huge channel. Like, I believe he's got about 15,000 followers or something of that nature. Let me see. Yeah, 15.4 at the moment. And so he then goes and does like really in-depth video about the different strategies and how he grew a specific account and stuff. And so, for example, now he's just got a video like how to build high converting Facebook ads in 2023. And this is exactly the type of video that I recommend all of you guys to go and find. Like, that video only has like 2.7 thousand views. And so literally, like, it's tiny for YouTube. And so for me, that's the kind of channel where you get straight down to the nitty gritty of how, you know, things work, specifically if you look at, you know, either SEO or marketing or SaaS or whatever it may be that you do. And for a guy like this, his strategy, which again a lot of you guys should replicate, is just post really deep, useful content. And there's two things you can sell on the back of that: consulting, which I actually even had a consulting call with him like way back when, and then clients. Because of course, if you like what you see, then you've got a fairly high likelihood to be like, okay, well, that guy really looks like he knows what he's doing. Why don't I just go and hire him? So anyway, that's Nick Theriot for you. And now motivation, a bit more like physical type of activity that, again, I think all of us should do hard things just to kind of condition your mind that, again, life is a long freaking marathon. It's probably even more like an Ultraman or an Ironman. Like, just life is really long and hard. And so essentially just learn how to kind of like manage your brain, manage your emotions, all of that. I think you do learn quite a lot from, you know, working out and pushing yourself, specifically from an endurance standpoint, because of course going to gym, just lifting weight, that's kind of fun for all of us. But, you know, going on like a 2-3 hour run or the big swim or any of that is definitely not as fun, at least the thought of doing it at the beginning. So for me, my go-to for this is Lionel Sanders. He's one of the top triathlon athletes in the world. He's probably one of the most famous Ironmen in the world, and just the hardcoreness of it is unbelievable. It's just so insane. So it just shows kind of the resilience that you need to build, how you need to be like long-term focused, because you know, like those races are crazy. I'm looking now, Ironman is like one of the craziest thing ever. He's like 3.8 kilometers or 2.4 miles swim, then 180 kilometers or 112 miles bike, and then a full freaking marathon. Like, a marathon is already hard enough. Those guys do 2 freaking other things before that. So again, just insanity. And some of them, like, they even managed to run the marathon like crazy pace. Like, you know, I'm looking now in like 240, sub 240 marathon is like insane. So anyway, some of those guys do that after literally be on a bike for like 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever it may be. So anyway, I highly recommend that you watch Lionel Sanders. For me, that's one of the craziest channel out there for motivation. A video that's really good to watch is like, literally, it's called Welcome to My Pain Cave. I don't think I need to say more. You can just see just insane stuff. And so he posts content very frequently, and again, it's just cool to kind of keep updated with what he's doing. Okay, so another channel that is absolutely mind-blowing from just an endurance, resilience. So of course, all of you guys know David Goggins, and of course it's crazy everything that he does. But now there's kind of the new wave of kids that come in and do even crazier things than him. And channel that I recommend that you guys watch is Truett Hanes. Honestly, his videos, I'm looking at it now, he literally the video that I recommend that you guys watch is called Beating David Goggins' World Pull-Up Record. I think in 2013, it says that in 2013, David did the most amount of pull-ups, and that was 4,030 pull-ups in 17 hours. And so he was just like, okay, cool, let me do more than that. So definitely amazing video to watch, and just shows the insanity. Again, sometimes we need a bit of motivation. Just watch this kind of a channel, and then you'll see, you know, just crazy stuff. So yeah, so that's what I recommend. And then now I'm just going to say a few different channels that play really cool music that I think is a bit of a different style. But for me, it's cool because more recently I've been a bit more into kind of like older style music kind of thing. It's not really older, but I found a bunch of people that now kind of like DJ on YouTube, and so you can literally, they film themselves like with like vinyls and stuff, and you can see them play really cool stuff. So there's 3 channels that I really recommend for this, and so I use this in a number of different occasions when I work. Again, when I have dinner parties, which again, I highly recommend that all of you guys do this, because you should essentially hone in your social skills with your friends, especially when you're early on. Be like, cool, let's take it upon yourself to be like, let me organize this. And so by doing this, you become more sociable, and you learn, okay, cool, let me organize, let me cook, let me all this, that, let me entertain. And this will be a skill that will be highly, highly useful as you get older and as you try and network and stuff like that. So anyway, I listen to some of those music while I have dinner parties, all of that, and it's really cool. So My Analog Journal, again, awesome. Bonita music, it's a newer video, a newer channel, but again, super groovy, like awesome. Whether you're just kind of chilling at home, chilling with your partner, boy or girl, and you just want to, you know, have a good time, that's some crazy good music to listen to. It's great to listen to like just hardcore things all the time, but sometimes you also need to be a little bit more mellow and stuff. And so, for example, if I'm listening to, you know, Bonita music, the video that I recommend is like, the video is literally called I Just Want You There playlist finest woman selection. So it's R&B, neo soul, kind of future sound. So like that's the kind of music. So that's just super groovy and stuff. You'll see.
I see you looking my way, but I know you're wrong.
Anyway, so that's what I was saying. This is particularly if you're just with a partner grooving, I definitely recommend that kind of music. So this, you can see him, he's like there on the decks and stuff, so it's kind of cool. The reason why I love these guys is just because the dedication needed, you know, like everyone can be a DJ and start downloading some music for free on the internet and stuff. Like we can all do that. Those guys have tens of thousands of dollars worth of vinyls. So again, just imagine the dedication that you need in order to do that. Like again, you need to be so versed in that space. You need to understand where to buy it. You need to understand how it works. You need to understand who to buy it from. You need to understand, you know, all the different artists and stuff. And each of those vinyls, they can only play like a few songs, like 10 songs or 20 songs or something like that. So it's just crazy. And so for me, it's kind of likening this to books, where again, if you think like here, this YouTube video didn't take me that long to make. Whereas if I put out a book, that could be 2, 3, 4, 5 years in the making of condensed, like putting all of the information I have in my mind into a book. So you get way more out of this. And so I feel like there's a little bit of that in this, where again, people had to dedicate so much of their life, like because it's the physical aspect of music, that they need to go find, store, have the space in the room for those music. That again, I think there's something to say about that. So I'll finish that off with this. Again, Mindspray. All those channels aren't very big, but yeah, awesome to groove on. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.